all the jobs in our country to green energy. Does that sound familiar? It's basically Biden's agenda. When Biden said we're going to work with our allies, what he really means is he's going to let them have veto power over our trade initiatives, our patent and trademark laws, and our energy industry. And that's just a start. And what better time to do this than with the fear of COVID hanging over our heads? Bill Gates, the WHO, the World Economic Forum, Prince Charles, the IMF, big business, and big tech. They're all in big for the Great Reset. If it means you have to give up your individual rights for global health security, so be it. Remember, surveillance, tracking, it's all good for you.
Eventually, what we'll have to have is certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control.
You don't want people moving around the world. But he says this is not about tracking. Again, this is just for health security. It's all for your own good. Calling them certificates or immunity passports, it kind of makes them all sound reassuring, like a security blanket. But they may be a lot closer to becoming reality than you think. In early October, the Daily Mail reported that London Heathrow Airport is testing, quote, digital health passes, which can hold a certified COVID-19 test status or show that someone has been vaccinated in the future. And in this brave new world, you may not be able to, let's say, do much of anything without proof of vaccination. Think about it. Do you love, for instance, I don't know, watching live music? I do. Well, Ticketmaster has been working on a framework for post-pandemic fan safety that uses smartphones to verify fans' vaccination status or whether they've been tested negative for the coronavirus within 24 to 72-hour window. Now, again, just like Gates, all the reassurance comes. Ticketmaster says they're not going to make vaccines mandatory. But then why do it at all? The New York State Bar Association is also considering a campaign to lobby to make COVID-19 vaccines mandatory. They'll decide on Saturday if they really want to push for this. It's obvious, though, isn't it? There's going to be growing pressure across all of corporate America to force proof of vaccination status for movement, for everything. Just like no mask, no entry, no vaccination, no entry. No job, no school, no travel, no nothing. Democrat leaders across America are doing their part, too, in the Great Reset. Another day and another COVID restriction from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. No more than 10 people in your home at a time during the Thanksgiving lead-up, starting this Friday. Who's going to tell Grandma Mary that she can't come to Thanksgiving dinner because you've already hit your limit? You can tell her. New York City is a shadow of its former self. Businesses closing, for lease signs everywhere. I say it's resetting to a state of ruin. And all over the country, we're seeing a tightening of mandates, mask mandates, even as 95% of the country, a couple of months ago we saw in that survey, say they already wear them. Plus, there are more limits on businesses and worse. Tonight, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot announced that she was once again issuing a shutdown advisory for her city.
This is serious life or death. We are sounding the alarm that we are at this inflection point where we have to step up even more than what we've already done.
Now, what has she already done? Except preside over economic decay and rampant